Hey guys, it's Veronica and I'm back with another video. As you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about something that I should have talked about like years ago, honestly, and that is Hangeul. And I don't know why I put this off. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to this topic when it's so important, but today we're doing it. So I'm going to introduce to you some of my favorite resources that I used when I was getting started in learning Korean, and hopefully they'll be helpful to you too. But please don't get it twisted. I'm not going to teach you Hangeul in this video. I'm only going to introduce resources and a few tips, and you are gonna do that work yourself. So you've probably already heard by now that most people think that romanization is trash, and in my opinion, they're right. I also do not support, condone, co-sign romanization. It's out. We don't want it. Thank you, next. Like, no romanization, please. And you will thank yourself for it later. In case you didn't know, I do live in Seoul, South Korea, and there are tons and tons of street signs and shop signs that have Korean words transliterated into English spellings, aka romanization. And if I didn't already know Korean and what the signs are supposed to be saying, I would have no idea how to read that sign, and I would sound like a crazy person. So if you are looking for resources to help you learn Hangeul, please avoid the ones that rely too much on romanization. Now, you're going to need a little bit of romanization at the start to figure out what Korean alphabet letters are supposed to sound like, but we don't want to keep using romanization when we're starting to read words and sentences and phrases. When it comes to learning Hangeul, there are a few different things that we have to focus on in order to call ourselves proficient. And of course, the most important thing is pronunciation. So learning how to pronounce and create the sounds yourself, and also listening and recognizing the sounds. And of course, we also want to learn how to write it and read it comfortably. I started learning Korean a while ago, so it's all kind of a blur for me. I don't remember what exactly I used, but a few resources do stick in my mind, and I do remember them having a big impact on my ability to read and write in Korean. And we're gonna start with a textbook that I really like. And I thought I still had it, but I guess I got rid of it, and I don't remember doing that. But the first resource is a textbook called Hello Korean #1, because that's the beginner book. And there's so many reasons why I really like this book, but the chapter, like the introductory chapter about learning Hangeul, was so thorough and detailed. I loved it. They had writing practice where you could practice the stroke orders and making the shapes with a pencil on paper. And there were example words that had the letters in that word so you can see how it forms a syllable and how it forms words. It had an audio CD so you can listen to native speakers pronouncing it and pronouncing those example words too. And it also had, what is it called? I can't remember. Oh my gosh, my brain is broken. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a chart of the mouth, and it shows you like where to put your tongue and stuff. There is a word for that, but I can't remember, and I'll put it right here. It has that. So yeah, in general, I just thought it was a really awesome book that had a really awesome chapter on learning Hangeul for beginners. Most beginner textbooks will start by teaching you Hangeul, so I don't want to say that this book is better than any other book. Just make sure that if you're choosing a Korean textbook to get started with, that it does have a chapter that goes over Hangeul in detail. Chances are it's going to be super helpful. Another resource I want to recommend is a website called Cyber University of Korea. It is just a bunch of free online courses for foreigners, and they teach Korean through different languages. So through English, through Spanish, through, I want to say Chinese or Vietnamese. I don't remember all the languages, but it's really awesome. I haven't used all of the lessons. I haven't finished that course, but I do know in the beginner level and level 1, the first 2 lessons are like really long video lessons, like over an hour long, maybe over to, I don't remember how long, but like super long video lessons with a native speaker teacher who also speaks like fluent English, so they are able to explain everything to you, and they just go in depth on Hangeul, and they show you how to write it, they show you how to pronounce it, they practice with you, and it's really fun. I really like that teacher in those in the level 1 videos. He's really cool. So if you're more of an audio visual learner, that might be more helpful than looking at a textbook. But again, the textbook does have a space for writing practice, so please keep that in mind. We do want to practice writing at some point. We have to. The third resource that I want to recommend is an app. It's amazing. I don't know why I haven't heard other people talking about this app, but it's called Korean Letters, and it's available on iTunes and on Android. So no excuses here. You do have to pay for the full version, but you can use the lite version and see how it goes, and if you like it, then you can decide if it's a worthy investment or not. It's only a couple bucks if I remember, and I paid for it. This is not sponsored. I paid for it back in the day and I loved it. I thought it was so cool. So instead of me explaining how the app works, because it's a little bit tricky, I'm going to put in a clip right here so you can see what is so awesome about this app. So here I have downloaded the Korean Letters app. This is the lite version. They also have a full version that you can pay for, but I recommend, if you're not sure if this is a method that will work for you, that you start off with the lite version and go through the sample lessons, and then you can make your decision after that. So let's open it up. And here, this is just the title screen. It says Hangeul, which means Korean letters, and that's exactly what they're going to teach you. This app does not have any instructions. There's no quizzes or points of any kind. It's a very intuitive system that you have to apply your own kind of self-discipline to get anything out of it. So let me just show you how it all works, and we're going to start by pressing on the arrow button. So each level is made up of a series of slides like this. And like I said, there are no instructions, but all you have to do is tap on the letters.
B, A, A.
And in these earlier levels, there will be some romanization, because if this is your very first introduction to Korean letters, then it's kind of helpful to know what's the approximation in English.
B, A, A.
So you can see on the left-hand side, there is a shape that has a B sound, and that is obviously a consonant. And on the right-hand side, there is a shape that makes an A sound, and that is the vowel. And put them together, and you get a syllable block.
B, A, A.
So every time you tap on these letters, I recommend that you practice repeating after the recording. It's a very natural pronunciation, in my opinion, and I think it's really helpful to repeat and repeat and repeat as many times as you need until you get it ingrained in your memory. And once you're done with that, we can move on to the next slide. So here we have the vowel that we just learned, but they're introducing to us a new consonant. So let's click on it, let's tap on it and find out what is the sound.
A, Na.
So again, there's a little bit of romanization at the bottom with the English letters there, but for the most part, we're just focusing on the Korean letters, which is why I really like this app. So let's try one more time.
A, Na.
And I'll try it with you. A, Na. Okay, so now at this point, you can choose to go ahead and tap on the letters right away, but I would encourage you to try to, recall from your memory what we just learned and see if you can read this on your own. And if you're having a little bit of trouble remembering, of course, there's no problem in going ahead and tapping on the letters.
B, A, Ba. A, Na.
There you go. So a few slides in, we've already learned enough Hangeul to know a Korean word. And I'm sure you can guess what this says.
banana.
There you go. And the rest of the lesson basically progresses in this way. They slowly introduce new consonants, new vowels, one or two at a time, and you simply continue to tap, repeat as many times as you need, and then try to draw from your memory things that you just learned.
na, g, ga.
So in this instance, this would be a time where you would want to draw on your memory to see if you can remember what we've already learned. And then if you can't, or if you want to just check, which I always recommend that you double check that you're reading it correctly, then we would go ahead and tap on it.
G, ga, b, ba.
And I'm going to fast forward a bit. Here they've introduced another vowel. Here we have another fun word. Can you guess what it says?
Gaga.
Lady Gaga. I'm not sure at what point do they stop showing the English alphabet at the bottom. So let me just check and see, where is it?
Ga, no.
Okay, so we're already at the point here after Lady Gaga. There is no more English alphabet at the bottom, and they've also stopped breaking down the syllables into each individual letter. So instead of reading this as ku, ka, it goes ahead and reads it as one full syllable for you.
Ga,
This one too.
no.
There you go. So I'm just sliding through so I can get to the end and show you what that looks like. So here at slide 22, we are at the end of lesson 1, and it just shows you this little star to say, congratulations, this is the end of the lesson. It doesn't really mean anything. Like I said, there's no points or gamification of any kind. It's just all based on your self-discipline. And if you want, you can go to the home button in the middle and start at the beginning. You can press the arrow to move on to the next level, or you can press the repeat button and do this level again if you're feeling a little bit shaky on it. So I'm going to move on to level 2. And as you can see, we've got brand new vowels.
G, o, go. O, no.
And it seems like since they've introduced something completely brand new, that they did bring back the alphabet for you, but I'm sure that will disappear once again. So, another new vowel. Interesting.
G, u, gu, u, nu. G, o, go. G, u, gu.
So it seems like they're holding on to the alphabet just for a few slides here, and then I'm sure it will disappear after you get acclimated to these new sounds.
Ga, no.
Just like that.
Na, gu.
Let's see if we can find another interesting
nano.
word. I don't know what this car is, a nano. Oh, this is interesting. So this is a chart of not all, of the main consonants and vowels here, and these are the things that you've already learned up to this point. And you can click on one letter and then see all of the different iterations of this letter with other vowel sounds that you've learned.
Ga, go, gu.
And kind of refresh your memory here. This is another opportunity, I think, to test your memory and see if you can remember how to read each of these syllables. So they've done it also by vowel here at the bottom. This is really useful and really good practice. So we've unlocked a part of lesson 2. Oh, we finished lesson 2, and so now we're on to lesson 3. I'm going to go back here. So we're back to the home screen, and if you click on the star, you'll see what we've accomplished so far, what we've unlocked. And like I said, this is the light version. There are only 5 lessons available here, but I think this is a good beginning to see if this is a method that works for you. And I think if you use this method diligently, it really will help you learn Hangeul in a really natural way. And if you finish up this app, then like I said, there is the full version, which you pay just a couple of bucks to unlock. And I believe it goes up to like lesson 20 in the full version. And as you progress through the lessons, the syllables will become more complex. They'll start combining the vowels. They'll start putting consonants in the ending place so that you have syllables that end with a G sound or a B sound or etc. It gives you a whole bunch of different combinations. So you really are just testing your pronunciation and your flexibility with reading all these different consonants. So that's it for this app. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial, and let's get back to the rest of the video. So that was Korean letters. Hopefully now you know why I'm so into this app, and I hope that you give it a try because it's just so cool. There are some drawbacks, of course. Obviously, you don't get the writing practice. That is super important. So, find a printable online or get a blank notebook and make sure you're getting writing practice. Another thing about that app is it doesn't go in depth on diphthongs. So when 2 vowels combine to make another sound, specifically all of the combinations in Korean that make a W sound in English, they don't, if I remember it correctly, it did not have diphthongs, W diphthongs in that app. So that's a problem. I was left confused on those W sounds for a while. So make sure that you're finding another resource that will go into that. But on the whole, I love the immersive experience. I feel like it was a really natural method of learning Hangeul, and I hope you try it. So after you've spent some time learning through your resource of choice, it could be an app or a textbook or whatever you like, make sure you're spending some time to practice what you've learned and putting everything that you've learned into action. So take some time in a notebook and practice writing words over and over and over. Find some vocabulary with audio recordings that you can copy, like mimic. Just repeat after the recording over and over and over again, and make sure you're listening to natural voices, so whether that be through a TV show or through YouTube. Also, you just want to read everything that you can lay your eyes on, whether that be a street sign or a book or a blog post, anything. You don't even have to be like 100% right, but just trying to increase the speed with which you can get through reading something is going to be so helpful later on. If you happen to be in South Korea at the moment, I totally recommend going to the Koin Noraebang because you have no choice but to try and keep up with the speed of the lyrics on the screen, and that has really helped my reading speed a lot. So I think that's it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've heard of these resources or if you're interested in giving them a try. And if you have any questions, also please leave a comment. I'll be doing my best to get back to you. And also, if you have any requests, anything for a video that you want to see about learning Korean or life in Korea or whatever else you can think of, please let me know. School has been postponed yet again, so I have more free time at home, social distancing, so hopefully I can get around to some of these different video topics. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Please try your best to stay indoors, wash your hands, don't touch your face, eat healthy and things like that. And good luck on learning Hangeul and the rest of your Korean learning journey. See you in the next one. Bye.